Hello everyone, Reggie Time here with my weekly vlog update. It's not good news to report, it's been a pretty rough week. I've only lost something like, I think it's just under 70 quid, something like that, so it's not the end of the world, but it's been fucking brutal in terms of um, how it's kind of been happening. It's been one of the most frustrating weeks I've had for quite a while. The most frustrating thing of all was I played a tournament. I think it was a $5 bounty hunter rebuy or something like that. 500 odd players. I got down to think it was something like the last three tables, maybe the last four tables. I was third in chips and I went out in something like three hands. I think first of all I got Ace King in versus Jack 9 for like 2/3 of my stack. Would have been overwhelming chip leader if I'd won, and didn't win that. And then I think I lost Queens versus Ace 7 suited or something for the rest of my chips in something like three hands. That was fucking brutal because there was quite a bit up top. I can't remember exactly how much it was. It was a decent number, like £600-700 up top, maybe 5-6. I don't know. It was decent anyway. Decent number of decent money up top, and I ended up just cashing for something like 10 quid with 15 quid in bounties or something irritating. So that was annoying. And then at the cash tables, it's just been one of those weeks where I've done slightly better than I've in the big pots that we're going to look at, we're going to review. I'm up about 40 odd pounds in the pots reviewing, but I've just been getting killed in the medium sized pots. It's been one of those weeks where things just don't work out for you. You know, I've been three betting a lot with broadways as you do, and just not connecting or partially connecting, and then getting raised at some point or bordering out shit and being forced to fold after putting like 30-40 blinds in. That's been happening a ton, which is I think why, even though I'm up in the big pots we're going to review and like down over the whole week, it feels like I've lost 5 or 6 buy-ins just in like, I don't know, like, I don't. You raise with Ace King, the flop comes down at something like King 6-7, and the board runs out 8-9 or 4-3, and the fish just donks into you on the river all in, and you're left with one pair and you can't call. All those sorts of like really shitty situations. Anyways, this is the situation for the year where it's left me. My hourly rate has dropped quite significantly down to just £6. This is in pounds. It's the spreadsheet says dollar, it's pounds. Down to just £6.41 an hour, which is quite annoying, especially given that pretty much but this month so far has just been break even just about, because I pretty much made all that money in January. So yeah, it's been an annoying week, but let's take a look at some of the hands and see what's happened. And this is the first time I'm like reviewing back most of these, so I haven't bothered putting them up. There's too many to put in like the poker hands replayer. It's a major ball ache doing just 3 or 4 hands, never mind doing what's it going to be, 20 hands or maybe just less. So no, it's not the best of formats. I know you guys don't really enjoy it, but it is what it is. We're going to be looking at them this way. So this first hand, this was a hand from tonight. This Graham was like a real proper monkey. The whole table was just salivating at him. He ended up leaving the table with like £100, which is annoying because usually the fish will spin it up and lose it back down again, but this didn't happen this time. This was actually a winning hand. Liam Boyd solid regular raises. This Graham, it was just mashing buttons, re-raises. We 3-bet pre-flop to 9 quid, £9 with the jacks. Flop comes down, deuce 3. I bet huge. He calls, turn a boat, happy days. I check back just because he had been like potting lots of rivers, and obviously our hand's invulnerable at this point, and we've got less than a pot size bet left, so I'm not too fussed about allowing him a free card, giving him a chance to either catch up or bluff. River comes another 3, he checks, I go all in. Sadly he folds, so that was the first hand. If we were all like that, we'd have had a good week. Second, Graham again. Second hand, we have 9s this time. Graham opens, we 3-bet to 360. Graham calls, flop comes 5-7-8. We bet, he check min raises us. I just call, just planning on calling pretty much any turn. Turn to deuce, complete break. He goes all in, we call, and he's called the 3-bet out of position with the 6-4. I mean, against Graham, we're just not going to be folding over pairs, especially on these board textures. There's not a chance. We have a good shot too, so if we are behind, we have a chance to suck out. If I had the hand again, I'd play it exactly the same way. Maybe we could just argue, we could just jam the flop to make sure that we get We don't give him a chance to, like, well, not giving him a chance to do anything, I guess. But I guess we could just have jammed the flop, but I think calling and just, like, getting it in on safe turns is reasonable play, and it was a safe turn, alright, for him. Next hand we have 2 kings. I open 5x. Why did I open 5x? This guy was in the blinds, that's why. This Dave Crow was playing like literally every hand, so he makes it 280. We 4-bet to £6. I thought he went all in. This is a misclick. I should have just like jammed it, obviously, because we left a tiny bit of money behind on the flop. Anyways, the flop comes down Queen Jack Jack. I go all in for me 322. That I should have done pre-flop. He snaps me off, and it was just kings versus aces, which is fun. Kings again. Min raise call. We squeeze to 230. Porky calls. Don't even know who Porky is. Don't remember him. Don't even know if I've won or lost this hand, which is okay, I guess. Much of a surprise to me as it will be to you guys. So anyway, we've 3-bet pre-flop. We've squeezed. We've been called. We get very dry flop. We bet 340. He calls. Turns a brick. We bet 7. He calls. River's another 9. We go all in. Porky calls, and Porky just had the Jack 8, so that was a winner for us. Ace King. We 2 limpers. We make it 9x because that's how the games have been playing. People just haven't been folding. Somebody 3-bets us to 330. This fishy guy, this I'm not wise, he was like just limp calling everything. He overcalls. There's like tons of dead money in the pot by now, or potentially dead money anyway. So I went all in to just either pick up the pot or clearly just like take a pretty good equity spot. The fish calls. I'm not wise calls. Ace 6 versus Queen, Queen versus Ace King. So the Ace 6 provided plenty of nice dead money here for us to flip over, and we did not get there. King, Queen suited. Someone limps, we isolate. He min 3-bets, we call, we flop top 2. How easy is it sometimes? Check, bet, all in, call. He just has the King Jack, so he's drawing dead. And we won that one. Next hand, 2 6s. We min raise, we get 1, 2, we get a caller, and then this card for life squeezes. Don't know much about him, but I think he's a fish. It's just too small. We have to call. It's only like 8 big blinds more. We flop moderately. What the fuck's going on here? Why have I done this? I bet on this 7-5 deuce, just presuming that I'm try to deny equity to overcards and things like that. He puts a raise in, which didn't make an awful lot of sense to me clearly as I called. And then we turned gin with the 6. He went all in. We called. He had check min raised, just King 10 suited on the 7-5 deuce, 2 overs, backdoor flush draw. He turns his flush draws. I turn my set, and then he just hits a pair on the river, and we win that one. Pocket 4s, piano phase raises. Don't remember him very much. Don't remember any of these guys, to be honest. I called as well. Everyone calls. We go to a flop. We flop a set, which is nice. One fish bets the original raiser 3-bets. We just call. I guess we could think about just raising there and get it in against over pairs there and then. I think looking back at this now, I probably rather would have raised again. There's lots of bad turn cards for a 0, a deuce, a 6, an ace, heart. So I think I should have just 3-bet that flop and got on with it. Anyways, turns a break. Piano face goes all in. We snap him off, and he just had pocket 7s and did not get there. I'm not sure where we're up to with all of these. I'm not sure how many more there is to look at. Anyways, here we have Ace King, Macapaka, who's, I think he's a regular, but with all due respect to him, he's not a good one. We 3-bet him with Ace King. He calls. We flop top pair, top kicker, check. Do not know why I checked there. He's not that aggressive. I think I should just have bet there, because Macapaka is not a super aggro player. I think it's a bad check by mate. Anyway, turn comes a club. Do I have a club? No. I decide to lead out. Microstakes goes all in. This hand's a complete clusterfuck. I call. Microstakes shows the king 7 for 2 pairs. And I struck out on the river with a bigger 2 pair. That was hand's a clusterfuck. I have not played that hand well at all. I should just bet the flop. I mean, all the money would have gone in anyway because he had flopped 2 pairs. But yeah, that is not a well played hand by me, but we got away with it. 2 4s, limper, isolation raise, call, I call. Limper calls, we flop bottom set, flop checks through. Probably should just lead there, I think, with bottom set in a multi-way pot, but never mind. Turns a queen, don't turn one bets, I call. This guy calls, this other guy Pokemon goes all in. It comes back to me and I go all in too. Gandifool or whatever he's called folds, and we got it in incredibly good with our opponent drawing dead. He had ace queen and we had the set of 4s. I'm really not sure where we're up to here. Not sure how many more hands there is to look at. We have 2 10s here. This one tilted me. This one did tilt me. This Bradders was literally one of these 100 VPIP guys. He was just playing every hand, playing to the river every hand, being really aggressive versus checks. So anyways, he limps, we isolate. Pretty big. Our isolation doesn't work because we get 3 callers, but never mind. We flop the overpair. Very confident my hand's good at this point. I lead out £4.20. The 2 other players fall. Bradders calls. Not surprised. He could have literally any 2. I'm guessing he's probably got some kind of made hand, but 10s is way ahead of his range. Turns on the 6. I mean, I guess he could have a 6, but whatever. A bet again. He calls. And then the river is an offsuit deuce, which for me, like, what's got there? 5-4. That's about it, really. I checked to allow him to do his pot size bet thing. Snapped him off. Was very confident my hand was good, but it wasn't because he had 2 jacks. Next hand, we have 2 kings. Conga, who isn't. We've been discussing it tonight at the table. I don't think he's the biggest fan of mine. He's an even bigger nit than I am. He opens for pot, which is pretty standard for him. I 3-bet. He 4-bets me. At this point, I'm literally puking because we have 2 kings. We block ace king a lot. I don't think he does this with queens. I think he just calls with queens. Anyways, he 4-bets me. There's not much you can do. I've got 2 kings, a jam. Unsurprisingly, he has aces, and we didn't get there. King 10 off. Not a usual Reggie hand, but there we go. Doyley's called. I've isolated small just to try and get the pot heads up. We flop trips. I bet tiny. He just calls. Turns a jack. I bet small again. He raises me. I just call. And the river, he goes all in, and I call. And he's just got 4-6 offsuit, which was a nice and very much needed donation. No idea what the fuck was going on with his 4-6 offsuit, but there we go. Jack Queen offsuit. Again, Darley calls. Again, we isolate. Someone else comes along. Well, everyone seems to come along. We flop top pair. Checks to Darley, who donks. We just call. This Lloyd character calls. Turns a 5. Not really completing anything. Lloyd then leads out for £5. I go all in because Lloyd's kind of committed 50% of his remaining stack. That's a brick. He calls, and he's just got the Queen 7, which gave us the best hand. Ace King here. We've had a min raise and a call from 2 fishy players. We've squeezed it up with the Ace King to 240. Just one caller. King 4-4. Lancey checks. I check back. Super dry board. Lancey can be pretty stabby, so I'll just give him a chance to bluff. He bets 550. We call. River's a 9. He bets 825. For some reason, I don't put him in. I just call. I'm pretty sure I should just have jammed there, to be honest. Looks like we've left some money on the table there, and that seems to be all the hands. So in terms of, like I said, we talked about earlier, in terms of the big pots, we've done okay. I think I turned out, I wrote it down on this here. Minus 136 with the pots of loss, plus 171 with the pots of won. So 35 quid up on the on all these pots we played here, so we're slightly in profit, but I've just been getting crushed in the medium-sized and small pots just by not improving, running some bluffs that didn't work, having boards run out really bad on me. It's just been one of those shit weeks. I was talking about it to a guy before I started my session actually tonight, my last session, which was this fucking disaster at the end here where we lost £85. Just saying that we can't expect to win all of the time. And this is typically how my sessions go on Sky quite often. You know, you just book these small wins, regular small wins, 10, 12, 20, 30, 20. But when you have like 2 big losing sessions in a week, it's really hard to recover when you're a low volume player. If you have 2 sessions where you're like dropping 175 quid, 215 quid in just 3 sessions, you're not going to make that back in a week. It's just not going to happen. When you're like lowish volume like me. I mean, how many hours have I played this week? What's that? 3 and a bit, 4, 5, 6.5, 10, 11, 13, 16, 17 hours. And that's including like a session on Unibet, I think. Maybe a tiny little bit on Triple Eight. It's not worth noting because nothing much happened. I think won a couple of stacks, lost a couple of stacks, and certainly not worth looking at. So maybe only played 20 hours this week. Maybe yeah, probably around 20. So if you only play 20 hours and within those you have 2 pretty big losing sessions, then it's just going to be one of those weeks where it doesn't go right for you. Things I've thought about going forward is I'm not going to play too much 6-handed. Most of the good sessions I've been having this week have been when I've just been starting tables, playing 3-4-handed with like a couple of fish, 1 regular. Once the table gets to 4 regulars, 2 fish, I think it's profitable still, but I think I better just closing that table and just having 3 tables of short-handed against like where I can like maximise my win rate, because when you're playing low volume like I do, you need to have a big win rate, and I think I've been playing too many hands or too many hours at tables where there's money to be made at them, you're plus CV in them, but you can probably do better. I don't want to have 6 tables running. I'd rather just have 3 tables of anything between 3 and maybe 4 or 5 handed, depending on how many fish there are at them, and focus more on playing short-handed versus fish than playing full 6 max games where there's maybe me and 3 other regulars in the games. So I'm going to do that a lot more next week, a bit more tables starting at 20 and 30 NL, and fingers crossed we can put this bad week firmly on the back burner and get back to winning ways. If you want to talk about any more of those hands, please mention which one. Please timestamp the video, because I'm aware that I rushed through them a little bit. I was a bit blasé. I'm making the video now in like 3 in the morning after that bad losing session, but I wanted to capture my thoughts here and now, and I'm at work early tomorrow, and at work early till 10 o'clock, so I couldn't have got it out on Monday if I didn't make it now. So I'm aware I have rushed through it a little bit. So any of the hands I've played that you'd rather have more discussion on, then either mention it in the Facebook group or on YouTube, and any questions, comments, anything like that, you know where to leave them. So yeah, it's been a rubbish week, but tomorrow's another day. Bye bye for now, everyone.